Well, friends, let me welcome you all first. You all know that we are waiting for this program for last couple of months now. And when I first met Dr. Kakodkar a couple of months back, we have to ask him that what date suits him, and that's the date he has given. And that's why we have this function today. Very briefly, I will tell you. You know the name of our trust, that is Vidya, Prasarak, Mandal. And that's the job we are performing. And here Vidya, we don't mean only education in traditional terms and traditional wisdom. Vidya is something more than education. We also say that Vidya Vinayana Shobhate. And somewhere we have lost that meaning of that Vidya. And that Vidya incorporates skills also. It incorporates many other things, which makes your life successful, your life, when you have become a contributor to the society. And that's the basic job we have decided to do. How to do that? It's not easy, because we have to be within the parameters of all educational guidelines, whether it be government or otherwise, and we have to be. But within that also there is a huge scope for development. And as far as our major campus at Thane is concerned, we have about 13 or 14 institutions, but basic institutions like Science College, Arts and Commerce College, all of them are accredited A. Here I just don't want to tell you because it is accredited A, but in real sense we have seen that quality is maintained. We are obsessed, we are very sensitive about that word quality, and that's what we are trying to cultivate there. And it doesn't come by saying that how many students in your college pass by 90% or 80%. It is in culture, it's in mindset. And it has to start with as you get up in the morning and all throughout your life. How to bring that? And it's very difficult, it's not easy, it's not very easy, because from your teachers, from students, from all other stakeholders, they contribute to that quality building. And when we have now this engineering college here, professional college, tertiary education you get, this has been a common complaint of industry as well as all experts in education, which we repeatedly read in papers, and which is partially true also, that our graduates are not employable. Industry feels there is a gap between what they want and what they have been taught. There are two reasons for that. One is sheerly, as today Dr. Kakodkar was telling, that some of the instruments in mechanical and other departments are outdated. Still students are learning on that, and the reality is something different. So that's one part of it. You have to bridge that gap by constantly changing, making changes in your syllabus and systems. But more important than that is mindset, that a teacher and a student, how far he is committed. And to make him serious, to make him more committed to his own mission of taking education, Vidya, that's what we are trying to do. Our job as an institution is to provide you facilities, resources, and all other possible things what you can imagine to create that awareness and inspiration within you, students. Why that has to be done? Because ultimately we believe that as an institution, which is, I think, everybody can understand that you are the building blocks of the nation. And it's a very competitive world. We talk about being a superpower, but how can we become a superpower unless until we have those very strong building blocks? Here I don't mean strong from the point of view of only education, morally, ethically, commitment-wise, but as civilized people they are. Then these building blocks would be strong and the nation would be strong. And that can happen only in the schools and colleges, because this is a formative age, and if we don't train you now, with all possible obstacles, with all possible problems, we have to do that. That's our job. Of course we require your help. When we tell you to do something, You have to understand that's not to trouble you, but it's a part of the whole system, civilized way of behavior. So these two programs which we have launched, a lot of interaction with scientists, with the interaction with educationists, with interaction with our own people. What are the two programs are? One is Council of Senior Scientists, which here you are familiar with because last about a year they are coming here and interacting with you. What we want to do further, we want to magnify that interaction. And we have to see that these senior people, as while interacting, somebody was taking that they have lots of things, knowledge because of their grey hair. Yes, I agree. But she was telling that we also have made many mistakes, which you probably may not understand. And they have to communicate those things also to avoid those mistakes. So in short, this is a bridging a gap between that age. They have learned hard way. While doing their own job, they have learned that. Hands-on training they have. While that they have many practical training also, they themselves have in a country like India. How to deliver those jobs, they know, they have done it. So the idea is that our faculty, which is very young, I'm not going to go into those things that why do we get only young faculties? Yes, there are problems. But what does it matter? They are also quite good, talented, intelligent people. But they also need some inspiration. They also need lots of things from senior people. And how to do it? Because these are the days of specialization. So, thanks to this scientist, what we saw, at least in Thane and many other parts of the country, that our generation, about 30, 40, 50 years back, most of them are retiring now from, in Bombay we have BRC and TIF and Pune maybe DRDO, or many other such high-end institutions. And they are retiring, and they are quite that way happy people. How to make use of their knowledge to these professional courses. And when we talked to a couple of them, they were very enthusiastic, they liked the idea. There were problems because they are not that way trained as teachers. So, as these teachers, they have problem of communications, articulation, so many other art, because it's an art. Teaching also is an art. So what knowledge they have, ultimately they have to communicate to you. So some of them were worried that, how can we do this? We have never done this in life. Yeah, that problem will remain with them because they were scientists in their respective fields. Why I'm trying to tell you, so this is a marriage between this knowledge, mature knowledge. They are also learning, they are meeting at Thane, they are interacting, they are on emails, they are talking before coming to you. So to refine them, to train themselves, they would adopt to those arts of education, teaching. And you are benefited because they want you to talk to them. There has to be a dialogue, there has to be interaction. And within that interaction, they will come to know what you actually want. They will give you what they want to tell you also. But they would like to know from you, your faculties, students. So they have been coming here and interacting with you. And that program now, for 1 year we run that as a pilot project, and now we want to take that further. About 25 people have already enrolled. And there are about another 20 people, once we go back, we will talk to them and they may join. Because there are different topics. And I'm sure this will work because these scientists are very serious. They themselves are offering. They want to come here. And I'm also very sure that our students are also quite serious, our faculties are quite serious. We have seen during last 1 year. And we would bridge that gap, that transferring some values, transferring knowledge, making you better person in knowledge as well as ethically, morally, a better citizen. That can happen. And this is a very new concept. Not that I won't call it a new, it is already happening for higher centers like IITs and other things. Some foreign teachers are coming from there, and I think GAN project is there. And they're coming. So this is happening. But we are at a bottom. So we are trying to do it here. And there is one special angle to this also. This is a really rural college. Most of you are from rural background. And believe me, you are more benefited now because this facilities may not be possible or may not be been implemented there in the urban centers. So that's one idea. Very briefly I want to tell you, that's why I have explained you. And my request to you is that take it very seriously, take it very seriously. Because that's an investment in you. Again and again I am repeating, this 4 years. Once you go out of this, I have been talking to you, that we just don't want to throw out BE engineers. We want to throw out better citizens. And as a matter of fact, you should be better citizens, then he is BE or he is doctor, but he is a better citizen. So for that, we are using this resource, and I'm sure with the help of this scientist, with many new ideas, we would succeed in that, and I'm sure we are going to wait for the more suggestions from our honorable guest. Second is very complementary to this, that Center for Career and Skill Development. In Thane we have, every year we graduate, there are maybe more than 800 plus or maybe 1000 students, they get graduated from different branches. In our own campus we have science. In science we have 7 or 8 branches. We have arts, science, arts, commerce, law, management, polytechnic, advanced study center. So you can imagine that from a banking clerk to a scientist to a big institution, we have scientists, we have candidates there. But the problem is same again, because we get, because of our branding, we get some industry at the Thane campus. But we see that the whole exercise is to get a cheap labor. And if you get good labor, that's still better for them. And many people join, they leave, so that relationship doesn't last much. Now we want to change that. This is happening in the world, again nothing new. That we have found that there are some particular skills. There are 2 parts. You are graduated, so we can't change that now. You have a university certificate with you. What we can change, we can educate you how to present to the industry, which yesterday there was a lecture of Dr. Vidya and Dr. Joshi. And you must have seen here, they asked you some simple questions, how to face them, how to deliver them, how to communicate them. That's an art. This is again an art. Very easily you can learn that. That's not a big problem. But we'll have to teach you that. From business etiquettes and manners, there's a dress code, there's a communication skill, there's an articulation skill, even how to write your CV. And there are many other soft skills you have to ultimately cultivate. Again, I would say that it's a very competitive world. Maybe that your own colleague is competing with you. In this campus, if we call somebody, who is going to be here? Your own colleague. And he will compete with you, and if he is better, he will take the job. So, we want you to be better than others. That's my selfish motive. That a student of Maharshi Parshuram College should be so well equipped that he can do better than any other person there outside in the market. But that's not easy. You have to learn. Those who feel that they don't need any learning, we have to change their mindset. If this is an art, you can do that easily by little modifications, little understanding. So that education we are going to give you. Along with that, there are many new things, like startups and many other things. They would teach you. This is a kind of syllabus, very short syllabus. Dr. Joshi is going to head that unit with his other colleagues from industry. And that's the thing, that final product again the final product from the education institution we want to deliver. And that should go to the industry. The industry should never complain that there are many other things. It's not only simply that we have to give you a product and then that can suit you. But most of the times, some basic things at least should be matching to their expectations, from behavioral this thing to your content generation. That's the idea. So this is a very complementary concept to the earlier concept, and they would run parallel to each other, because this also would start at the 3rd year, final year. This course also would start in the final year. Well, friend, I just don't want to take much of your time, but I must tell you what management is thinking of. And then I would say that, is this a new thing again? Probably you may not be knowing that. Senior educating junior, it's a very old process in this country. I don't know how old, thousands of years, you may not be knowing that, but this is what has been happening. And what In the 19th century, when British colonial masters they came here, they saw that in villages, that's a wrong concept that there was no education. One day we will talk, there are authenticated documents available through British or colonial masters. They have said there were thousands and lakhs of schools in particular areas, including Konkan, not thousands, hundreds of schools were here. That apart, but they had a problem that in 19th century, the government had started spending some money, but it was very difficult that they were not getting teachers, how to communicate. And they found that the simple system in India is that their seniors, they teach to their juniors, from school to the higher learning. Simple thing. And Ball and Lancaster or some system, it is known there. They called it as a monitor system. That monitor doesn't mean a disciplinary head of your class. Not that monitor. And you can go to internet and find out that monitor system is given by India to the world. Here monitor means senior teaching junior. So it's an old system, it's in our DNA. We have been doing that for ages. And the last thing again is the same what I told you, our great Narayan Murthy in one of his convocational address, he said that, what have we contributed to the world? A very disturbing question. Factual also and partly not correct also. Yesterday I told you that all of you know who Zuckerberg is, all of you know that who Sundar Pichai is. Both of them are great. But we have more Sundar Pichais there in America. Why not a single Zuckerberg who has some very creative, inventive ideas at that young age and who can create those great companies? Because we want some innovative ideas, creative ideas. So friends, ultimately all these efforts are towards to bring out that hidden talent within you, shape that, convert that into a better knowledge. As I said, Vidya, Prasarak, Mandal, that's what we are doing. Well, friends, with this introduction, then I would now request Pawar. Announcement. If you go through the agenda, there is first thing is signing of MOU with COEP and Instrumentation Department of Batu. You know, these two are very big institutions, and I am very happy. COEP, you know that again, they are doing the same job. You know, they are already. Their instrumentation department is communicating to you, interacting to you, either on Skype or your students, they go to Pune and interact with the students there in COEP. To advance that program, to take it further to other departments also, I am so grateful and thankful to COEP that we have signed a memorandum of understanding, Samanjasya Karar. And this program will go further. There are more teachers would come, more programs would be implemented, and one of the programs that you have that virtual lab here. We have been given as a nodal agency for whole of Konkan for virtual lab, and there is going to be a national workshop also in the month of February where other engineering college faculties would come here and other science faculties would come here and they would learn here in this campus. That's COEP, that understanding. Second is Batu, that's also equally important government organization for engineering. And their instrumentation department is extremely happy to again exchange, build a bridge between you and us and them. And I'm really grateful and thankful to them. I'm very sure, this is a new concept that instead of isolation, you know, we have better resources. We have some resources better. They have excellent resources. If you can share those resources, here I mean human resource to other resources, things would be better. They would help you a lot. So that's the first program. That was the first program, and that has already taken place. We have already signed that, and that's with us now. We have to take advantage of that. The second program, as I told you, I would request now Deepak Gaisas. And another thing, I'll do that job first. I am not going to introduce both of them. It's like Gavaskar, you have to introduce him. Both of them are great personalities. You know Deepak Gaisas very well. Dr. Anil Kakodkar. So they don't require any introduction. That will be laughable if I do that. So I am avoiding that. So directly I am requesting Deepak Gaisas to inaugurate this concept of Center for Career and Skill Development. Gaisas.